Wade, what is up, man? Thanks for joining me.
Oh, man, not too much. How's everything been?
Great, man. So right off the top, we got trivia questions, we got a leaderboard, we got a timer. I'm going to hit you with some questions, and let's see how you do, all right?
All righty.
All right. First major league strikeout against, who was it?
Michael Bourne.
Yep. First major league batter faced, who was it?
Michael Bourne.
Yeah. Who was your first
Think a little bit.
Who was your first major league home run given up to?
Dan Ugla.
Yep. Who was your first major league win against?
The National.
Yep. Number of pitches thrown in your first MLB start?
I have no idea. 80.
Who was your last minor league game against?
The New Orleans. The Zephyrs.
What was your jersey number in your debut?
36.
Yep. Who relieved you in your major league debut?
Oof. I got nothing.
Brad Ziegler. Where was your first away game in the big leagues?
Atlanta.
Yep. Who was the opposing starting pitcher in your debut?
Brandon Beachy.
That is correct, though. Brandon Beachy. That's good. All right. Yeah, pretty good there. I think you're gonna be up there on the leaderboard. That's pretty good. Pretty good. All right. So, Wade, first off, thanks for joining me, man. And I wanted to ask you because I played baseball professionally, but at the minor league level, and I know minor league baseball is something everybody goes through. It's so unique with baseball. So I have a million stories, and I know you probably do too. So what is one minor league story from your days that'll always stick with you?
I would have to sit back and think a little bit. Bunch of great memories. I can remember our last, I think in 2009, I just got called up toward the end of that year, and we were in Sacramento. No, not Sacramento. Stockton, California. And I just remember, I don't know, I was the first time I got to play with some older players because I got moved up from like the class I was with into high A, and I just remember going up there and I think we had 3 games in Stockton, got beat. And I don't know, just reminiscing with some of those guys about the season and stuff like that, just and learning about. It was my first year really in pro ball, just kind of remembering some of the moments throughout the season, just talking to those guys. I remember there's some, like you said, there's so many stories from minor leagues that's one that just stuck out to me just now. Just the memories of just sitting around a pool, wondering what's next, at the end of a minor league season, and just pretty cool moments.
So you end up obviously getting to the big leagues and having quite the career to this point. But recently, a week or so ago, you threw a no-hitter. Your first no-hitter, really fun to watch. It was awesome. Take me through that day. So you wake up. Was it any different from you than a normal start?
No, not at all. I knew rain was in the area, and my last couple had been with like some rain delays. We were kind of late getting to the field, just a lot of boredom, just sitting around the locker room, not doing much. Pretty standard day for the most part. Definitely not expecting to throw a no-hitter by any means, and was fortunate enough to somehow get him to hit the ball to the right people, and got it done.
I know. I'm always interested because I've heard my brother talk a lot, and when he's throwing well, he'll have days in the bullpen before the game where he's throwing great and ends up throwing like shit out on the mound, and then he'll have other days where he feels awful in the bullpen and then takes it to the mound and he dominates. Were you feeling good in the bullpen? Were you like, I'm dialed in today, this could be a good day, or was it like
I was not at all by any means.
Wow.
It was one of those days where I didn't feel terribly bad, but I wasn't locating pitches in the pen. I was a funny story. I looked at Tucker. Over the PA, they were announcing like my record and my numbers in Cleveland, and they were not good at all. And I just looked at Tucker and said, "I'm due. I'm due for a good one, buddy. I don't know. Don't look good right now, but I'm due." And but yeah, it was it's wild. It's wild how that happens. I know my last start in Colorado, I felt great in the bullpen, couldn't miss a spot, and couldn't get anybody out. So I mean, baseball's strange.
Yeah, so there's definitely something, and I've written about this a good bit lately with Fox, and I know from a hitter's perspective, and this is what I've talked about a lot, the mentality in baseball can be brutal. It is such a mental game, and at the plate, I can go 0 for 4 and 0 for 8, and the next thing you know, it's in my head, and I can turn an 0 for 8 into an 0 for 20, and you really bog yourself down. From a pitcher's perspective, what is that like? Is it just as hard? Like, can you get in your head just as easily? And then you have 5 days you have to wait. And I know, I watched you a lot in Houston the previous season, and you had an incredible year, and then you went through a few game stretch that was a little difficult. Was that a lot mental, or is it physical?
I think a little mix of both, but I mean, you're nailing it right now. As far as like, it's baseball such a game of failure from the hitting side of it. You see guys, like you said, struggling. Same thing from the pitching side. Like, I remember in Houston, I was on a roll and everything was going great, and you just didn't think about anything negative, and it just happened. And you went with the flow of every game to start. It just worked out. And then when the hiccup came, I think a lot mental, no doubt. But I mean, I was physically tired at the end of the year. And then that played into it. But I would say majority the mental side of it, the fear of going out there and repeating what happened the week before. And you just spent 5 days preparing for it, 5 days thinking about it. And then, I mean, for me, that was the most horrendous stretch I've been on in my career. I couldn't get out of the first for like 2 or 3 starts straight, and didn't know why. I felt like I was making pretty good pitches. It was just like everything turned. And I think that part of it is very, very mental. You're like expecting to fail almost going out there. Like,
right.
It like, and you're trying to avoid it, and it's tough. It just becomes a habit, and it's terrible. But I think as I've gotten older and just been around more veteran guys, you kind of just got to put that behind you.
Yeah, that's what ends up happening at the plate. Is you go 0 for 4, you go 0 for 8, and then you take it home, and then you step into that the box the next time, and you just feel like you're not going to get a hit, and then you don't.
Right.
And then it's just a vicious cycle over and over and over. But enough. Let's get back to the no-hitter. A cool story I heard from it is your son put a tattoo on you that morning, a Hulk tattoo. Did you think about taking it off before you took the mound? I'm assuming that's the first time you've ever pitched with a Hulk tattoo on.
It is. And I actually tried to take it off. So it was like 2 or 3 days previous. Like 2 or 3 days previous, we were at the house before a game at home, and we were playing, like, he loves superheroes. We were playing superheroes, and he slaps this Hulk tattoo on me. And I'm thinking it's going to go away. I'm thinking there's no chance this thing's staying on my arm I wasn't pitching for 3 or 4 more days till then. And I mean, I get there to Cleveland, and it's still there, like it got put on. Like, nothing's wrong. It hadn't faded. I promise I take baths, showers. Like, I'm thinking it's going to go off. And then I was in the training room before the game, and I took some of that blue tape remover, and I rubbed it on there and tried to get in it, and it didn't go nowhere. And I was like, you know what? Hell with it. My little boy might see it and he'll love it. So I just rolled with it.
That's incredible. So you end up throwing a no-hitter. Is it gone by the next start you have? And I know you struggled a little bit in that start. So have you tried to get it back?
I have. We got home last night, my son, he had me like 4 packets of Hulk tattoos. So I have them here to fill with me. I'm not sure if I'm going to put it back on yet or not. But the other one lasted. It was a little bit on there on my last start, but you really couldn't define what it was. But it definitely didn't help. But one time, it's like a one-time deal.
Are you superstitious?
Yeah, at times, yeah. Yeah, I would say yeah.
What is the most superstitious thing that you have ever done, or that you currently do?
Well, I guess it's like I just like when things are going good, I just try to stay the same. I don't necessarily go changing things. I know thinking about Justin, your brother. I mean, he has a morning routine. I talked to him about that he's been doing for 14 years. He does the exact same thing every morning. Like I don't do that. I'm not that extreme. Like in the dugout the other night, like once like the 5th inning rolled around, I started like putting my towel down the same, putting my glove down the same, like trying to replicate everything each inning. That's about as far as my superstition goes.
I actually remember years ago, and he doesn't do this anymore because he hit, there was one bad year in his career, so he stopped doing it. But for like 12 years, every single night before he started, he would go eat Taco Bell. He would get Taco Bell. He'd get the same order, a Mexican pizza, 4, chalupa, whatever it is. And he would literally get home and unbox it all and sit there with food piled out, and he would stuff his face with Taco Bell before every single start for years. And he
and then he watched the same movie every night as well.
And then he'd watch
the same movie after he finishes Taco Bell.
Yep.
He'd watch the same movie every single night and fall asleep to it.
Yep, exactly. That and that
incredible.
is on being a creature of habit.
Yeah.
So what was it like? So you now know what it's like being out on the mound during a no-hitter, and you were actually in the dugout during my brother's no-hitter in
Right.
Toronto, which that game in itself had a different feel because it was nothing and nothing, and you didn't know if he was going to get through 9 and it would be a tie game. What was it like? Are there similarities between the two feelings? Was it tougher watching one than it was being out there because you're so locked in? Can you differentiate between seeing one from the dugout and being on one on the mound?
I know watching one, especially for JVs, it was like you don't want to do anything different. Like, so we sitting in the dugout in Toronto, and fifth, sixth inning, you start realizing, I mean, first off, like, I mean, he's got a chance to throw a no-hitter every time out. Garrett Cole, like, we had opportunities to see that a lot in Houston with some of the guys we were running out there. But fifth, sixth inning rolls around, and, like, you can't move your seat. If you got to pee, you just got to wear it. If you got to, you got to just wear it. You can't do anything different. You just got to sit there because you don't want to be the reason or anybody see you mention it or do anything different for where if you give up a hit, it's like, oh, Wade did this. He moved or he did something, and now it's my fault. Now you got
Justin would know too. He would know.
My bad. Yeah, heck yeah, he would know, and he would definitely ask you about it too. So, yes, but it's incredible to watch, no doubt. Like, that was the first time I had seen it, and it was incredible. And being his third, and how meaningful it was to him, and that was really cool to be a part of.
All right, so let me put you in the shoes of being commissioner. You're commissioner for one day. What is a rule that you would take out or add for the betterment of the game?
If I was the commissioner, I don't want to make anybody too mad. I kind of like the game, like, rewind like 20 years ago. I loved it. 15 years ago, I loved that style of baseball. Maybe it was a little slower. I think there's a lot of homers and strikeouts. Maybe the game could be a little more exciting with I don't know, the small ball maybe being reintroduced. But I mean, all the technology we have, I would take the technology out for one, because I feel like it gives such an advantage both ways, and I think that's why we're seeing so many strikeouts and home runs, because like guys kind of go up to the plate looking for one thing to hit because they know we throw it, they know exactly what we throw it, and they kind of prepare themselves for that. Or, I mean, I was talking to one of our hitters yesterday, the day before, about 3-0 fastballs. Like, that's the best pitch to hit now. Like, you guys used to take them, but thinking you would get another one 3-1. Like, you're not seeing that 3-1. It's so much off speed. There's not as much challenging. I know I don't challenge anybody. I'm flipping things in there all the time. Like, I don't know. It's just a little different. A tidbit boring, cool to watch. Like I said, like watching your brother and Garrett Cole in Houston in 19, they were punching out 12 to 15 a game. So there was an exciting factor in that. But I can understand the fans being like, this gets a little boring. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I don't know what rule I would change, but I would take some of the technology out of the game.
Yeah. All right, so I ask everybody 3, it's like career moment type questions. So I ask everybody these questions, and your first one is, what was your welcome to the major league moment?
Oof. I don't really know. I just being in Atlanta. I know I got called up we were in Philly and I didn't pitch, but it really hit me when I got to Atlanta. That was my childhood, favorite team growing up. And I remember like yesterday when Martin probably got the first hit off me, and then Chipper Jones steps in the box, and oof, that might have been it right there. Like, holy cow. I've been watching this guy since I was a kid, and now here I am facing him. So it's probably something along that.
All right, next. What was your most memorable player moment on the field, and was it the no-hitter?
I would probably say now, yeah, like the no-hitter is pretty high up there. I mean, that third out, watching the ball roll to Farmer and him throw it across the diamond, and then the way all the guys embraced me, and the excitement and enjoyment that was for not just me, but for everybody, just being a part of that.
What was it before that?
Either the World Series in 19 or in 18 with Milwaukee. That was very special in Milwaukee. Just making that run in the postseason. Getting through Game 7 to the Dodgers. Obviously, we lost that game, but that was really cool to be a part of, just getting that far.
And last, a moment that stands out to you with teammates that has taken place off the field.
I don't know. A lot of golf. Nothing like super, I don't know. That's a hard question. That's a hard on-the-spot question to answer.
Golf
I don't
works.
know.
Golf works.
Yeah, golf. Yeah, I play a lot of golf. A lot of golf. Spent off the baseball.
Have you golfed with
my
Justin? I know Justin golfs a lot. Have you golfed with him?
Yeah. We played quite a bit in spring in 19. We played a good bit. Yeah, he's a little better than I am. I try to keep up with him, but I remember he brought a buddy out one time at the Floridian, and the dude fires like a 64. It was incredible. So I was like, I don't belong here.
So you mentioned you mentioned getting to face Chipper Jones and how that was kind of like oh my God, I grew up watching this guy. And I know you're a big hunter, and I know Chipper is as well. Have you gotten to know him any off the field and gotten to hunt with him ever?
No, I haven't. Just had brief conversations with him in Atlanta. I know he came a couple years ago. We were playing there as visitors. I was talking to him a little bit, but never had the opportunity to hunt with him or really get into too many conversations about that.
Yeah, well, Wade, thank you so much for joining me, man. This has been a blast. Congratulations on your no-hitter. If I don't see you out there next time with a Hulk tattoo, I'm going to be disappointed in you, all right?
All right, man. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Thank you. Thanks for watching. If you love flipping bats, swinging 3-0, or just talking ball, join us. Call us at 213-537-9339 with your questions. We have a weekly guest, and we have a lot of fun, so hit that subscribe button.